Hi guys, this is Max here, back again with hopefully another great political video. And today we're going to take a little look at the 2022 House elections and how I would personally rate every single district that's currently up for grabs. Or actually, those are less districts than are currently up for grabs because there are four states that have had their maps either struck down or not submitted yet. So we'll have to wait on New York, Missouri, Kansas, and New Hampshire. I'm pretty glad that they struck down the New York map, by the way. That was definitely disgusting. Now, first of all, before we go through this map, I want to make one thing clear. I'm making my prediction not based on an endorsement, but based on how I believe each and every individual race will go. And I do think that the Republicans overall are going to perform way better than the Democrats. It is going to be a red wave year in 2022, and we will take a little look at all of these maps accordingly. Now, in the state of Washington, I believe that this district will go Republican, and the Oregon district right here, which is this website shows to be likely Democrat, is going to go probably Republican in a indie lean category. 538 that tracks the voting average of every single district based on congressional and presidential election record says this district is pretty much a toss up, and in a red wave here, it's going to go Republican. Now, in the state of California, we got quite some work to do. This district here has always been quite Republican. It's represented by Doug LaMalfa, but it has never been entirely safe. I think this district is David Valadez. He's quite a moderate Republican, so he won't face too many obstacles of trying to win re-election. This district here could flip into the Republican column, but I'm not entirely sure. These two will probably be closer, but they'll still be in Democratic hands after all. I'm not going to rate this district. It's Mike Garcia's district. He's quite popular, but it did get a little more blue following redistricting, so it might happen that he loses. If we zoom in a little bit into the uh, Orange County area, we can see a few likely and toss-up districts. This is represented by Kim Young. I think she will win re-election. And Michelle Steele from that district will face heavy obstacles, but she will be re-elected. I believe this district could probably end up being likely Democrat. However, right here, this district here, which includes Imperial County, that has shifted heavily to the right in 2020 due to the Hispanic vote trending Republican, that will be a lean district. Now, in Nevada, I believe that this district is going to go Republican probably by a lean margin. And this one up here, yeah, I actually think all of Nevada is going to go red. And this is a pretty bold statement to make, but oh my god, what happened to those two districts? But I'm being completely honest here right now. Nevada's Democrats have made a mistake. They made a pretty bad gerrymander if they even tried to gerrymander it, because this district essentially makes it more difficult for Democrats to win seats, because it splits up the Democratic areas in Vegas and gives the rural communities more power. In Arizona, I believe there will be two more likely Republican districts rather than lean. This one down here has a retiring Democratic incumbent, so I think it's going to flip, but it will be a lean district. I believe this district will be a toss-up, and the one in central New Mexico lean, while the one in southern New Mexico will be lean to likely Republican. I'll put it as likely because it's probably going to be a red wave year. And in the state of Texas, I actually think we do not have to change anything. The maps have not been made in a way that there would be many competitive districts in that pretty huge state. And down there in the Grand River area, there's one district that's probably going to flip, especially since it is open, and and the Hispanic vote in southern Texas has trended heavily Republican. Now in the Midwest, I believe that this district, I believe this one was extremely close in 2020. The incumbent Democrat won by a few votes, and she's seeking re-election, but she's probably going to lose this time. This one in southern Iowa will go Republican and currently has a Democrat, but in a red wave year, she has no chance. I'm being completely honest here right now. This district up here actually used to be extremely Democrat. Back in 2012, the Republicans didn't even run a candidate in Wisconsin's third, simply because the incumbent Democrat won by ridiculous amounts. However, the times have changed, and by now it seems pretty obvious this district is going to flip. It'll be the first time in a very long time that this district in the driftless area between southern Wisconsin and Minneapolis is going to go red. and there'll certainly be a lot of media coverage on this district. Now, this will probably be lean Republican. So, I believe that this district is suburban Illinois. Like, the Illinois gerrymander was pretty intense, but it also lacked the point of making safe Democratic districts because a lot of those districts could end up flipping. I see three districts that are like total toss-ups right here, and even Illinois' 11th up here, which I would rate as lean, could possibly flip for the Republicans, in which case we would have a 8-7 Illinois map in favor of the Republicans, which would be very crazy to see considering the fact that the Democrats wanted to gerrymander the state. Now, in Michigan, I believe this area in western Michigan could trend to the left because it has a lot of suburbs in it. And also, I believe this district used to be more Republican and it became more Democratic. It's hard to make a prediction on Michigan. This state votes like crazy. But I believe that overall the Republicans will maintain that district up here. They will likely flip this one, but that one could be maintained by the Democrats. It's difficult to say because the Michigan map is very different from the old one, and at the same time, political trends in Michigan are very rapid. Donald Trump had some counties trend right by 30 points in 2016, and it might happen again. Now in Ohio, this district up in the suburban area is gonna go red because Ohio is overall a red trending state. So these two districts are probably gonna vote Republican. Northern Ohio has trended to the right consistently during the past 5 years. Cincinnati will be a close call, though that area is trending Democrat. Now, in the eastern seaboard, I actually believe these two districts in Connecticut are going to be complete toss-ups. They are very close. They have a history of voting Democrat, but they are extremely close. In Maine, I believe Jared Golden, who's probably the most conservative Democrat out of all, will not have too many issues at facing re-election, so he's going to win. Then this district in Maryland will flip back to the Republicans. It used to be a fairly reliably Republican district before the Democrats gerrymandered it in 2010, and it was ungerrymandered this election cycle, which is something positive. In Pittsburgh, Connor Lamb is retiring to run for Senate. I doubt he's going to win the primary, and these two other districts in Pennsylvania will likely go Republican as well. There's one more district in suburban Philadelphia, which I believe is going to be lean instead of likely Democrat. And these New Jersey districts are probably going to end up being likely because they are fairly solid for the Democrats. And I'd even go as far as saying that Jeff Van Drew in southern New Jersey is going to win by a lean margin. Or actually, he might win by a likely margin, but he's not going to win safe because southern New Jersey is not intensely Republican in terms of its voting record. Yeah, that should be it for like Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Now in Virginia, this district that's currently shown as safe Democrat will probably be a toss up or at least lean district because it has a lot of rural areas in it. I actually think it's going to be a toss up because Virginia has shown in the 2021 gubernatorial election that it is very much capable of electing a Republican. And these other two districts are probably going to flip. I'd even say that Abigail Spanberger, who's a moderate Democrat, might have more of a chance to hold on, but she'll get voted out of there. I promise that right now. Now, this district is probably going to vote Republican. That one has a retiring Democratic incumbent, so I see it as a pure toss-up. But these other two districts here were originally much more Republican. However, then the map was struck down, and it turned out that, in fact, the Republicans had gerrymandered North Carolina up to a degree that the map had become illegal. And now we have a more balanced map, I'd like to say. Now let's go to the state of Georgia. Now this district down here has a retiring incumbent, and it is basically 50-50 in terms of the partisan makeup. And in northern Georgia, I think we're going to end up getting a safe district. Also, this district is very Republican in Tennessee. It used to be a Democratic district, but then the incumbent got drawn out, and now it's almost entirely reliably Republican. Now, we've covered almost the entire nation. The only area which we're still missing out is Florida. And there, I have a very interesting story to tell. Originally, there were a lot of map proposals for Florida made much earlier on, but then Governor DeSantis decided to just let the deadline run out So he could propose a bill that would be intensively favoring for the Republican Party and extremely helpful to the Reds in Florida. And that's how he kind of forced through a pretty heavy gerrymander that takes out a prior majority minority district in northern Florida. Not endorsing or criticizing this policy, just pointing it out as a analyst. Now this district will probably go red by a pretty solid margin, sorry, but it literally splits up the only Democratic area, not even Democratic, mildly Democratic area in northern Florida. And yeah, that's not going to be enough. Now, I believe that this district is going to be safe actually. The Orlando area has seen a lot of packing. In southern Florida, it might actually be a little closer. I don't believe these margins will be safe. At most, they're going to be lean because southern Florida has historically always been competitive, even if it has trended to the right. And maybe this Tampa Bay district also will be lean. But overall, I'd like to say this should be it for now. I believe that the Republicans, even with 4 states completely outstanding, 2 of them reliably Republican, will retake the House of Representatives in 2022, and that can be addressed to Biden's heavy unpopularity due to high inflation and major foreign policy disasters such as the fall of Afghanistan and now the war in Ukraine. It's not looking good for Joe Biden, and if he doesn't want to go down as another Jimmy Carter in history, he might better get his act together now. That's how I believe history will remember the current moment at the current situation. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please feel free to leave a like down below. If you did not enjoy it, please feel free to criticize me in the comment section down below. Anyway, have a good day, and Max out. Bye-bye.